And then he says, Hashem b'shamayim mechen kisei. This is also from Psalm 103. Hashem b'shamayim mechen kisei. Hashem prepares his throne in the heavens. U'malchusai b'koil mashallah. But his kingdom reaches and controls everything. What does that mean? Hashem, what is the idea of a throne? Why does a king have to sit on a throne? The kingdom, his royalty, is expressed by sitting on a throne. Of course, with a crown on his head, but sitting on a throne. Why does that express royalty, sitting on a throne? Because a king by nature is head and shoulder above his subjects. That's why he's king. So because he's head and shoulder above his subjects, how does he relate to his subjects? So the king has to lower himself. Sitting on a throne means the king lowers himself. By sitting down, you're lowering your mind, you're lowering your heart, so he can interact with the people. He has to be able to connect with his subjects. So too, we're saying Hashem himself is so lofty. He's even beyond the heavens. So how does Hashem connect with us? Hashem lowers himself through the throne. The throne in Hebrew is kisei. Kisei is kas. Kas means to cover up. Aleph. Hashem covers up in himself. He lowers himself. He conceals himself. And how is this? Through the Torah. Because Hashem creates the world through the Torah. The Torah is the blueprint of reality. Anything that exists in the world is found in the Torah. So in the Torah, Hashem discusses everything that exists, but he's discussing it from Hashem's point of view, in the Torah, the way the Torah deals with everything that exists in this world. But that's the interface. The kisei becomes the throne, the throne of glory becomes the interface through which the king lowers himself and he engages his mind and his heart with the world. And therefore, and through that, Hashem runs the whole world and controls the whole world. And this enables us to fulfill our mission, which is to align the world with Hashem. Because Hashem interfaces with the world through the Torah. The Torah is the blueprint for everything that exists in the world. Everything originates in the Torah. And therefore, our job as Jews is to make this world into a Torah world, to align the world with the reality of the Torah, the reality of Hashem. So Hashem's throne is in the heavens. But as a result, Malchusei b'kol mashallah, his kingdom reaches everywhere and he's in charge and control of everything. And the next verse, in the Chronicles, Yismachu Hashemayim v'sogel ha'aretz, the heavens will rejoice, and the earth will rejoice, will exult. V'yomru v'goyim Hashem malach. The goyim will say Hashem was king. Hashem rules, reigns. Yismachu Hashemayim v'sogel ha'aretz is in the future. When Mashiach will come, then the heavens will rejoice. And the Yismachu Hashemayim v'sogel ha'aretz, the first four letters of these four words, is Hashem's name, in the proper order. Yud, Kei, Vav, Kei. Yismachu, the Yud, Hashemayim, the heavens, V'sagel, the Vav, Ha'aretz, the Hey. Mashiach will come, and God's name will be fully revealed. Then the world will jump with joy. Today, the world is a very sorrowful place. There's so much sorrow. There's so much anguish. There's so much evil. There's so much negativity. There's so much darkness, there's so much pain, there's so much suffering, there's so much death. Mashiach will come, all of that will be gone. The world will be all good. It will be all joyful. And godliness will be revealed, Hashem's name will be revealed, and then the world will exult, the heavens and the earth will exult, and the Goyim will accept Hashem's sovereignty. All 8 billion people will willingly choose and accept Hashem's sovereignty. That's the difference between a melech and a moshel. A moshel forces himself on you. A king, the citizens voluntarily, willingly accept him as their king. So Mashiach will come. When godliness will be revealed, then the world will accept Hashem. And then he says, this is not actually a verse. First time we find this is in Tractate Seifrim. It's made up of 3 different verses in Psalm. Hashem Melech. Hashem is king. Hashem Malach. Hashem was king. Hashem Yimlech Le'elam Voed. Hashem will be king forever and ever. That's a verse in the Torah, in the Oz Yasher. This is the only part in this whole prayer, which is from the Torah. Everything else is from Proverbs, Chronicles, and Psalms, mostly from Psalms. Now you may ask about the order. Doesn't make sense, right? What would be the logical order? First you should say Hashem Malach, he was king. Then Hashem Melech, he is king. And then Hashem Yimlech, he will be king. Why do we start out Hashem is king? So some want to say, because to Hashem, there is no past, there is no future. Hashem is past, present, and future together. So Hashem is eternal. So to Hashem, the past and the future is Melech today. There is no past, there is no future, there is no separation of time. There's no divisions. Hashem, it's all now. Past, present, future, all in one. Hashem Melech. The name Hashem, Yudke Vavke, is Melech. It's all now, it's happening now. The future is happening now, the past is happening, it's all now. There's no past, present, and future, it's all now. It's eternal. Hashem is eternal. The miracle of time, that Hashem gave us time, is if we lived, if our lives were eternal like that, we can never change. Thank God that for us there is time. And there is a past and a present and a future. So we have the option of changing. We have the ability to change. What happened in the past, we can now is a new moment. It's a brand new moment. We have the ability to change. But if every moment of ours was eternal, we would be stuck and frozen forever. But for Hashem, Hashem is all one. Others say that Hashem Melech means, I think the Shalom HaKadosh says, Hashem Melech means that Hashem himself is a king. It's not like any other king. Another king, if there are no subjects, you can't be a king. Hashem is a king independently, because the truth is nothing exists besides Hashem. So Hashem is king. He's an essential king, not because there are subjects that crown him as king. Hashem is a king. He is a king. He wants to be a king. He's a king. He doesn't need anyone. Hashem's essence doesn't need anyone. His reality is not in relation to us. We don't exist only in relation to each other or to other things. We need a contrast to exist. There's time and there's space and there's us and there's you and there's I. There's right and there's left. There's up and there's down. Without contrast, we don't exist. Our whole existence is relative. Hashem is an absolute existence. He doesn't exist in relation to something outside of him. There's nothing besides Hashem. He is, period. So Hashem is king. But then Hashem chose and decided to be king over us, which is really the most astonishing thing, because really, if you think about it, there's no one to be king over, because there's nothing besides Hashem. So who is he king over? With the king, you have the option of being a king, because there's you and there's others. So if others choose you to be their king, you have the option of becoming a king. To Hashem, really, it shouldn't even be an option, because there's no one besides Hashem. Hashem is an absolute reality. There's nothing besides Hashem. There's nothing in relation to Hashem. Hashem doesn't exist in relation to anything outside of himself. He is. And there is nothing else. So who is he king over? Even after he creates the world, there really is nothing to Hashem. So who is he king over? The whole thing is only Hashem desired. Hashem wanted to be a king. So he created the world as if we are, as if we exist. We exist because Hashem wants us to exist. So that's what we say. When Hashem becomes a king over subjects, he wants us to exist, and he wants us to be his subjects, and he wants us to be self-conscious and to be self-aware, and he wants us to willingly choose to be, that Hashem should be our sovereign. Then Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimlech, Hashem always was king and always will be king. But the opening statement is Hashem Melech. Hashem is king on his own. Notwithstanding, even if there's no one else, there is nothing else. Hashem is king. He's an essential king in his essence. But then Hashem wanted us, and therefore he created us. He wants to be king over us. He wants us to willingly choose him, that he should be our king. So that's why we say, next thing is we say, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimlech. Hashem always was king, always will be king over us. On a very psychological and a personal level, Hashem Melech, because it's called the eternal now. The reality is the only time that exists for us, really, is now. You know, the person who says to quit smoking is very easy. I've done it dozens of times. My diet starts after dinner or tomorrow. You know what that means. It never happens. If something is real, the only real time is right now. If you can't walk away from the food right now, it's never happened. A person wants to quit smoking. They actually did a test. People who tried, who were addicted, let's say, to smoking, they tried to, and they couldn't. They did a study. Those who made a resolution to stop smoking, those who stopped smoking for the first 24 hours, didn't touch a cigarette for the first 24 hours, were 10 times as likely to stick to their resolution. And they actually quit smoking. Those who broke it within the first 24 hours, it was all over. Why? Because their frame of mind, when they say, I'm going to stop smoking, it's now. Tomorrow turns into now. The next day is again now. So you're always thinking about now. Right now, I'm not smoking. It's hard, it's difficult, it's a struggle, but I'm not smoking now. Tomorrow turns into now. It becomes the eternal now. That's the time that we live in. Versus those who made a decision, I'm going to start my diet, I'm going to start smoking. It's an abstract, it's philosophy. One day, it's in the future and always will be. It never happens. In my mind, and in some abstract place in my mind, one day it's going to happen. That day never comes. It's always tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into today, so it's the next day. It never happens. So what we're saying is, if Hashem is real, Hashem Melech, Hashem is my king now. It means me, it means today, it means now. Hashem is my king now. I obey Hashem now. I do what Hashem wants now. Hashem is my sovereign, I am his faithful and loyal subject now. If Hashem is not my king now, then there is no past, there is no future. It all starts with now. If Hashem is my king now, then there's a past, and then there's a future. It becomes an eternal now. If every time you stop to drink a cup of water, now, you turn that into an eternal moment, you make a blessing, you mention Hashem, you have Hashem in mind, I'm drinking water in order to be healthy, to have the strength to serve Hashem. This moment, this singular act, becomes now connected to all eternity, to all previous, to everything in the past, to everything that's going to transpire in the future. Hashem Melech, that becomes the window and the gateway to Malach and Yimlech, Leilam Voed. Now I'm plugging into eternity. That every moment becomes an eternal moment. I'm living in the moment. Whatever I am, whatever I'm doing, that moment becomes Hashem Melech. I'm connecting it with Hashem. It becomes real. If Hashem is real for me, now, 2022, on the Upper East Side, right this moment, then Hashem is real yesterday, tomorrow. It's reality. I'm plugging into reality, to eternity. But if Hashem is not real now, in the future, there was once in the past, there was holiness in the past, in the shtetl, things were holy. When Mashiach will come sometime in the future and always will be, then things will get holy. Then it's not real. So we say Hashem Melech. Hashem is now, current, present, me, actual, real, right in front of me. Then there's Malach and there's Yimlech. And then we continue, we say, Hashem Melech, Elam Voed of the Goyim Me'artzoi. This is a verse in Psalm 10. This is actually where the word Hashem Melech comes from. We just said the amalgamation, Hashem is king, Hashem was king, Hashem will be king. The amalgamation, Hashem is king, comes from this verse that we're quoting now, Psalm 10. Hashem is king forever. And once Hashem, this is referring to the future, when Mashiach will come. Mashiach will come. And then Hashem will be king in this world. We'll sense Hashem's presence. We'll sense Hashem's glory. We'll sense Hashem's sovereignty. We'll feel it. It'll be palpable. And then it'll be forever and ever. Then of the Goyim Me'artzei. Then the nations of the world will be lost from His land. When the world, once it becomes obvious that this world is His world, it's Hashem's world, then the nations of the world who chart their own independent paths and think that their life is all about creating glory for themselves. Each nation is trying to, thinks that they're an independent actor and that they're charting their own history and they have their own history and purpose. All that will be gone, because then, like we says, the nations of the world will serve Hashem, because then the family unit, that will be the unit. Everyone will go back to their family. Everyone will realize that their purpose in life is to serve Hashem. There's only one theme in life, and there's one purpose, and there's one history, and there's one destiny. And the whole purpose was created for the glory of Hashem, to recognize Hashem, to feel Hashem, to sense Hashem, to worship Hashem. And this is something that today the Jewish people have accepted upon ourselves. When we stood at Sinai, and starting with Avraham Avinu. But when Mashiach will come, when Hashem's kingdom will be in this world and be felt in this world, then all the nations, as independent nations, as separate, fragmented nations, that will all go. That will all be gone. That will be history. The nations will all unify and will center around a moral nucleus of the family, serving Hashem. Because right now, every nation is thinking about its wealth, its power, its influence. It's all ego. That's what drives each nation. Each one wants to be more powerful and wealthier. And when Mashiach will come, it won't be about power, and it won't be about existence is not about power. We didn't come into this world in order to acquire power, in order to acquire wealth. That's just a means to an end. The purpose is that every one of us should be the best that we can be. We should actualize all the divine potential, godly potential that God gave us. And we should utilize all our abilities to come closer to Hashem, to recognize Hashem. And that's all we wish for others. I don't want to control anyone. I don't want to have any power of anyone. I don't want to lord over anyone. I want everyone to be the best human being they can be, to be the mensch, and to be the divine created in the image of God. Every human being is created in the image of God. They should be the best version, the best Noahide they can be, the best version of a Ben Noach, of a righteous Gentile, a Hasidic Gentile, the best human being they can be, the most moral, the most ethical, the most genuine, the kindest, the best. And you hope that for everyone. I don't want to control anyone. I don't want to lord of anyone. It's not my interest. That's why the nations of the world, as a power, as an independent actors, writing their own script and their own history, all that will vanish. All that will go by the wayside. Of the Goyim Me'artzai, it's Hashem's world. Once you recognize it's Artzai, it's Hashem's land, it's Hashem's world, then my life, that's not what my life is about. I don't care about these things. That's not what my life is about. Power, control. That's not what it's about. And he says, Hashem heifir etzaz goyim, heini machshavos amim. This is also a verse in Psalm 33, that Hashem will foil the schemes of people. He's annulled the council of nations. He has foiled the schemes of people. We see in the Torah, the generation of the Tower of Babel. They had a scheme, they had a plot. They were all gathered together and they were going to fight Hashem and they're going to establish their kingdom and defy Hashem. We don't need morality. We don't need ethics. We don't need truth. We don't need Torah. The chutzpah of the Congress last week, codifying, defying Hashem, and saying that a marriage is not what Hashem says is a marriage. Only God can tell us what a marriage is. And the chutzpah of anyone coming and taking a country that was really founded on Torah values and godly values, and officially codifying and defying Creator of heaven and earth and His Torah. So the Torah tells us, don't get excited. When you see all around you that the mafia took over, and you see all around you that the bandits took over, and evil people took over, and are running and are controlling, and they think they're running the show, and they think they're controlling everything, but they forget one minor detail. There's a God in this world. And that's what King David is telling us in the Psalm, and we say every morning in the Daven. Don't forget. Hitler thought he had a master plan. Stalin thought he had a master plan. The communists today in the Western world think they have a master plan. And they're going to defy God. And they're going to defy morality. Push pornography on children, mutilate children, destroy the innocence of our children. They forgot one minor detail. These clowns forget one minor detail. There's a God in this world. And God created the world for a purpose. And He has a plan for creation. And His plan will prevail. These clowns think that they are running the show and they're in charge and in control, and they seem to be getting away with murder. They have subversed, made a mockery of democracy, of our republic, made a mockery of every value that's dear to us, made a mockery of the people, a handful of charlatans, controlling, manipulating, lying through their teeth. Every time they open their mouth, they're lying. Everything is a lie, from beginning, middle, and end. And they seem to be getting away with murder. So the Pasuk is telling us, relax. Don't forget. Hashem is running this world. and Hashem's plan is going to prevail. Hashem will nullify the council of nations. He has foiled the scheme of people. And he continues, many are the thoughts in the heart of man, but it is the counsel of Hashem that endures. This is actually a verse in Proverbs. King Solomon, the wisest of all men, the son of King David, the heir of King David, says, relax. There are many thoughts in the heart of man, but it's the counsel of Hashem that endures. The Shalach Kadosh says something unbelievable. He says, Vatzas Hashem, he, sakum. Shlomo Melech says, there are many thoughts in the heart of man, but Vatzas Hashem, the counsel of Hashem, he takum. He says, he is an acronym for 3 words in Hebrew. Im Yirtzeh Hashem. A Jew should always say, whenever you're planning a business or you're planning to do something, a Jew always says, it's only going to be successful when Im Yirtzeh Hashem. If Hashem wills it, it will be successful. If Hashem does not will it, all my plans will be for naught. And that's why a Jew always says, Im Yirtzeh Hashem. If you're relying on my own counsel and my own thoughts and plots and schemes, you're wasting your time. But if you're aligning yourself with Hashem, he says, I'm going to do my part, but it's only going to happen if Im Yirtzeh Hashem, if Hashem wants it, that will last. He sakum. If you say Im Yirtzeh Hashem, then what you do will endure. Atzas Hashem leilam tamay. This is another verse from Psalm 33. Interesting, it's the same psalm that he said earlier, the same psalm, but he, instead of saying these 2 verses consecutively, Hashem hefer atzaz goyim, Hashem nullified the council of the nations, and he puts in the middle the verse from King Solomon from Proverbs, that there are many thoughts in the heart of man, and it's the counsel of Hashem which endures. So now he goes back to the psalm, that very same psalm, Atzas Hashem leilam tamed. The advice of the counsel of Hashem stands forever. The thoughts of his heart throughout all the generations. Hashem has a plan. There's a plan in human history. There's a plan, how it's all unfolding. And even if we don't see the plan, and it's very disappointing, you see how they're getting away with murder, and the liars and the cheaters and the thieves are literally stole a country and are destroying the Western world, destroyed its values, destroyed its godly values, brought it down to total decadence, total evil and immorality. You have to remember that Hashem has a plan, and Hashem is guiding this world. Maybe He's exposing them. When evil gets its way, it's all over. Communism only worked in the promise. Once communism was realized, it's self-destructive. Hitler's year 1000 Reich lasted too long, but after 12 years, it completely was destroyed. Sodom was destroyed. The generation of the flood, it came to an end. Evil comes to an end. Once evil reaches absolute evil, which is where we are right now, it's over. It's game over. When they get what they wish, and they win everything, and they get everything, and they get away with everything, it's like a bloodsucker. The bloodsucker sucks the blood, it's full, it's satiated, and then it drops dead. So maybe Hashem is bringing all the evil out into the open. They're exposing themselves, they're showing us their true face, their ugly face, and for everyone to see. And once they get whatever they want, and they think they got away with murder, Hashem will rinse them out from history forever and ever. They'll be gone forever and ever. They'll meet the same match as Saddam Hussein, as Hitler, as Arafat, as Stalin. And this whole ideology will be destroyed and rinsed from Hashem's world once and for all, forever and ever. They'll be scrubbed out of history. And a marriage is only what Hashem says is a marriage, between a man and a woman, period. And then he says, Kihu Omar Vayeh, because Hashem said, and it came into being. This is also from Psalm 33, in that Psalm. Hashem commanded and it endured. So Hashem created the world. Because we recognize that Hashem is constantly creating the world through His speech. Hashem speaks and the world comes into being. So therefore, whatever He commands, this will endure. The whole world was created in order that we should fulfill His divine purpose. The divine purpose. There is no other purpose. There is no other reality. That is the only reality. When you recognize that Hashem is the one who's creating the world and constantly creating us, so our very substance is nothing other than the divine, our very substance is godly, And of course, hu tziva, whatever he commands, vayamed, this is what endures. Mitzvot, that's reality. The Torah, that's reality. Halacha, that's reality. That's the only thing that endures. Everything else is nothing. Won't endure, won't last. Then he says, Ki vachar Hashem b'tzion. This is also from Psalm 132. Because Hashem chose Zion. Eva l'moishavlei. He desired Zion as a place for his dwelling, l'moishavlei. Eva, the commentaries say, Eva is Aleph Vav Hey. It says that since Amalek, Hashem's throne is not whole, not complete, and his name is incomplete. That Hashem now, we have Yud K is separated from Vav K. And the throne is spelled Chaf Samach, it's missing the Aleph. So he says these three letters, Eva is Aleph Vav Hey. Hashem desired that he should be restored. The Aleph should be restored to the throne so the throne could be whole and complete. And he desired the Vav K, that the Vav K should be restored to his name so the name could once again be complete. Eva l'moishavlei. So Hashem desired the Jewish people. Ki Yaakov bachar loika. The next verse, because Hashem chose Yaakov. This is also in Psalm 135, because Hashem chose Yaakov. Yisrael is Galasa. He chose Israel as his beloved treasure. So when we stood at Sinai, when Hashem chose the Jewish people, Hashem chose us for something very serious. It's not about fun and games. The Talmud says Hashem lifted up Mount Sinai and he says, if you're going to accept the Torah, is good. And if not, I'm going to bury you here and now. Hashem was very serious because it's a tremendous responsibility. Because now it's all up to us. What happens in the world is all up to us. Reish Lakish said, the Talmudic rabbi said, if the Goyim knew how the behavior of a Jew affects the whole entire world, the Goyim would put 2 centuries on every Jew to make sure that he doesn't sin. Because when we sin, we affect the whole world. There are 40 million Jews, but we carry such responsibility for the welfare and the well-being of 8 billion people. What we do in the privacy, we think it's just us, but we don't realize that we affect the whole world. Hashem gave us tremendous responsibility. Hashem says, when He created the world, I did it all myself. I created the world on my own. But from now on, Hashem chose us. Hashem says, now it's in your hands. I'm giving it to you. You're in charge. You're in the engine room. You're running the show. It's up to you. I'm placing my destiny in your hands. If you do Torah and you do mitzvahs and you do the right thing, and you resist temptation and you overcome all your tests, then the world will be blessed. The world will be elevated. Godliness will be revealed. My purpose will be realized. That's the purpose I created the world. But if you don't do it, you're messing up the whole world. The whole world becomes dark, concealed. If there's no blessing in the world, it's because of us. We Jews take responsibility for the whole world. It's an awesome responsibility. It's also a great privilege. It's a treasure. Because, why is this a great treasure? Because it imbues our life with so much meaning. You know, they did a study and they say that religious people are the happiest people in the world. But religious Jews are the happiest people on earth. Because the Torah, halacha, imbues our lives with so much meaning. Everything that we do, every detail has so much meaning. There's so many halachas, how and what and when, and we don't look at it as burdens, we look at it as it means that every thought of ours and everything that we say and everything that we do is so significant. It matters. So leading a meaningful life, what a treasure. It's not just a burden. You know, Yaakov may look at it as a burden. It's a burden, it's such a responsibility. The whole world is on my shoulders. The smallest thing that I do affects the whole world. If I sin, if I mess up, the whole world is messed up. Maybe everything that's happening out there in the world is my fault. Instead of blaming the world, look how dark it is and look how disastrous it is. It's my fault, so it's a heavy burden. But Yisrael recognizes it's a treasure. It's a gift. Hashem gave us such meaning and purpose. It's off the charts. It's through the roof. Your life is so meaningful. It's so joyful. It's so thrilling and exciting to realize that everything that we do matters so much. and can have such an impact, so it's beyond our comprehension. We do a small thing here, and the repercussions are almost infinite. It touches Hashem himself and the whole universe. We always have to look at ourselves and the world as being an equal scale. And by us doing one single good deed, I have the power to single-handedly tip the scale, transform human consciousness. If Adam, through one person, one sin, destroyed the whole universe till today, the power of good is so much more powerful. Imagine the power that we have. Because every one of us has to look at ourselves as Adam. As the rabbis say, why did Hashem create Adam one? Everything else he created in the multitude, in plural, many animals together. Adam was one. To teach us that every one of us has to view ourselves as if we are like Adam. We are the only person that exists. The whole world was created because of me. I carry the whole world on my shoulders. I am responsible for the whole world. If I listen to Hashem, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, if I willingly accept Hashem as my sovereign, my king, then Hashem becomes king of the world. I elevate the whole world. I elevate Hashem. And if not, single-handedly, I demote Hashem from being king and I destroy the whole entire world. Single-handedly, through one single act. What a way to live. It's so inspiring that every moment of my life, the smallest act is so meaningful. So much halachas, how, what, when, where. It's not just I'm doing something casually. Everything I do really means something, really. It's consequential. It's not that Hashem is giving us Torah. He doesn't need the mitzvahs. He doesn't need it. It's for us, to keep us busy. So he thought up of all these rules and laws to make us, drive us nuts and make us crazy and keep us busy. No, Hashem needs us. The whole world needs us. Everything that we do is so consequential. We are Hashem's treasures. What a gift to live a life of consequence, to live a life of such meaning and such purpose. It gives joy, it gives you purpose, it's a life full of meaning and energy. Everyone today is so apathetic, everyone today is so, there's no direction and there's no point and there's no purpose and just live for the moment and the big issues today are just, there's nothing, there's no ideology, there's nothing. A Jew is so filled with so much meaning and purpose. But on the other hand, what happens if we mess up? So he says in the next verse, from Psalm 94, Hashem is never going to abandon us. He can't. We are the conscience of the world. We are the purpose of creation. We are the ones who have the responsibility and took the responsibility for the whole world. So Hashem can never abandon us. We are the whole purpose of creation. He'll never abandon us. But the question is, what happens if we mess up? And the truth is, it's not the non-religious Jews, because non-religious Jews today, it's not their fault. They never had a Jewish education growing up. They don't know any better. They're like a child that was kidnapped. You can't blame them. What do they know about being Jewish? They never had a single positive and meaningful Jewish experience. So it means nothing to them. They can't relate to it. But here we're talking about a religious Jew who goes to shul 3 times a day and is going through the motions and he's doing everything that's right. But he's going through the motions. He's checking off the list. He finishes davening before he starts. It's just another thing to cross off the list. And then I go back to my private life, to my real life. A Jew who's not aware of our responsibility. Hashem gave the Jewish people a responsibility to the world. When are we going to take that responsibility on ourselves? When are we going to take it seriously? I'm not just a little Jew and going about my life and paying my bills and keeping out of trouble and just doing what I have to. We have a responsibility for the world. That's what the Rebbe did this week. We had the gathering of the Shluchim, the largest gathering ever. There are over close to 6,000 Chabad Shluchim, families all over the world. The Rebbe took that responsibility seriously, and he educated us to take that responsibility seriously. We, the Jewish people, have a responsibility for the world. So what are we doing? You go to shul, it should light a fire on you. Not, I'm done with davening. I did my duty, I checked it off the list, and now I can go back to my life and forget about it. You can't compartmentalize. You leave shul, you should be on fire. So now I'm recharged, I'm rejuvenated. What am I going to do about my Jewish responsibility to change the world, to bring Mashiach, to bring Hashem into this world? I'm a man on a mission. I have a mission, I have a shlichut. I'm charged, we were charged, we stood at Sinai. Every Jew was charged with this mission. And the world won't let us forget it. Why do you think anti-Semitism? Anti-Semitism is for that reason, because we are the conscience of the world. The Goyim won't allow us to forget. You think you're just like anyone else? The German Jews were more German than the Germans. You think they're going to let us, you think we're going to let you pretend that you're German? You're not. You're Jewish. Didn't matter if you're religious, you were not religious, you were an atheist, you were a communist. You're Jewish. You're the chosen people. You have to have your act together. If you don't have your act together, we, the Goyim, are suffering. We're not going to let you forget that you're Jewish and you're different and you're chosen and you're holy and you're not like us and you never will be. You have that responsibility. You were chosen and Hashem chose you and you stood at Sinai and you have that responsibility. You're the conscience of the world. You have that responsibility to the whole entire world. And if you forget, we're not going to let you forget. That's the real reason for anti-Semitism. So how can we go about our life with apathy and indifference and just going through the motions? I'm learning, I'm davening, I'm doing mitzvahs, but you know what, okay, I do what I have to. Don't bother me. You can't forget who we are. You have to remember who we are, and what our charge is, and what our responsibility is. So what if a Jew messes up? So nevertheless, we say, V'urachum, yichaped oven, v'lo yashchiz, v'hir b'lo shav ape, v'lo yirko chamasei. And this is from Psalms. It's from Psalm 78. Hashem has mercy. And this verse has 13 words corresponding to the 13 attributes of mercy. Even when we don't live up to our charge and to our mission, and we forget how connected we are, how plugged in we are, how consequential we are, how the whole world is waiting with bated breath for us to finally realize and fulfill our divine mission and purpose, to bring Hashem into this world, because no one else is doing it. There is no one else. We're the only Jews around. We are it. And if we don't do the job won't get done. We have to do it. There's no one else. The time is now, and it means us, and we have to do it today, and we should be on fire. We should take this responsibility seriously. It's not compartmentalized. My Judaism is not compartmentalized for Shabbos, for a pocket here, a pocket there. I'm going to learn Daf Yomi here, and I'm going to do the daven here. And then the rest of my life, I'm not thinking about Hashem, and I'm not thinking about my Jewish mission and purpose and responsibility and the consequences of my life. That doesn't work. What if we mess up and we don't live up to our potential? And the world is one big mess as a result. Look what's going on around us. We have to realize it's us. It's our fault. So Hashem has mercy. Hashem has mercy on us. He's compassionate. He pardons. He won't destroy. He turns away his anger. He doesn't even arouse his wrath in the first place. And then we conclude, Hashem Meishia. Hashem, help us, deliver us. Answer us b'yom kadeinu, on the very day that we call. The very same day that we call, Hashem should answer us immediately, without any blockages or stoppages or delays, because it depends how you call. If you daven to Hashem, in a limited way, then Hashem will also respond to you. Hashem is interactive. But if you daven with all your heart and you shake yourself up, and from the depth of your being, then Hashem's response is also immediate. There's no blockages, there's no stoppages, there's no slowdowns. It's an express. It comes immediate. Hashem responds to us immediately. So this is basically the prayer we say. We know that eventually Mashiach will come, and that's the purpose, and that's the goal. Hashem's glory will be revealed in the world, and that's what we're praying for. Hashem is guiding all of history. That is Hashem's plan, Hashem's destiny, and nothing could stop this destiny, and it's inevitable that Hashem's plan will be realized and will be fulfilled, and we are the agents in this plan. That's why we're davening. We are davening, because Hashem desired the Jewish people. It's through our davening, and it's through our mitzvahs, and through our Torah, and it's us. We are the ones who are going to realize this plan. Next time we'll meet, and then we'll go and learn prayer a little more in depth. Today we just wanted to learn it, the simple, straightforward meaning.